occur with that disease, preeclampsia. There's also some stomach diseases that are made better after bariatric surgery, gastroparesis, gastritis, GERD typically gets better, or reflux disease. So all of these are reasons why patients come to see us usually. So what is obesity costing you? Well, we kind of already touched on this a little bit, but the number one thing is healthcare dollars. So medication costs. Our patients are usually taking many more medications than a normal weight individual. In fact, the other day I had a patient on 40 different prescription drugs every day. I can't imagine when you go to Walgreens to pick that up how expensive that is every month. They're in the doctor's office, so they're paying more copays, higher deductibles, in the emergency rooms, getting admitted into the hospital, so there's definitely healthcare dollars. But there's also career-related expenses. So there's multiple studies out there that show that you're less likely to be offered a job, less likely to be admitted into medical school or law school, less likely to be promoted if you are carrying excess weight. So this is something that people judge you upon. They might look at you and think, oh, well, you're lazy, you don't know how to take care of yourself, so we don't want you on our team. When none of those things are really true. This is a disease that you're struggling with. Other costs, mobility. So many patients say, I just want to be able to get on the floor, play with my kids, or I want to be able to go to Disney and walk around and not have to get a motorized scooter. So mobility is another main personal cost. Availability of stylish clothing, public seating. Almost every support group, somebody says, I rode on an airplane, I didn't have to get a seatbelt extender. People are really excited about that. It's a main non-scale victory for so many people. Marriage potential, self-esteem can be lower. Now, while surgery is amazing, it doesn't necessarily mean that your life is going to become amazing. You're going to marry Prince Charming, so just kind of keep that in mind. So usually that patients are dealing with that social discrimination, depression, isolation. So some of the conventional treatment options that you've probably tried, diet and exercise drugs, pharmaceuticals, that's diet drugs, and behavior modification. And studies show that if you do a diet or an exercise plan, you'll typically end up losing about 5 to 10% of the weight that you set out to lose. So let's use 100 pounds because it's easy math for my head. If you want to lose 100 pounds, you start a diet plan. Studies show that you'll typically on average lose about 5 to 10 pounds. So nowhere close to your goal. And then the problem is that you fail in long-term success with that diet plan. So you'll typically regain that weight and usually additional weight. So in 1991, the National Institute of Health released this statement, saying that long-term weight change is almost impossible for the severely obese by means presently available, with the exception of surgery. So what that basically told a lot of insurance companies is diets don't work. And the only way to really get this weight off permanently is through some kind of bariatric surgery. A lot of insurance companies kind of took notice to this statement. They started offering this as a benefit for their covered people. So what do you need to do in order to qualify for surgery? This doesn't necessarily mean your insurance company is going to pay for it. This is what you need to have in order to qualify to go through this process. So you need to have a BMI of 40 or greater. If your BMI is 40 or above, you are automatically in. If your BMI is between 35 and 39, you need to have at least 1 to 2 comorbid conditions. These are chosen by the insurance companies, but they're typically things like pre-diabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure, pre-hypertension, sleep apnea, joint pain. I mean, there's so many things on this list, it kind of goes on and on. Things like seasonal allergies or eczema, those things unfortunately don't qualify, but almost anything else does. Some of our patients come to us and they don't even realize they are pre-diabetic or have high blood pressure or cholesterol. So don't despair if your BMI is between 35 or 39. There still might be some hope for you. I'll answer all questions at the end. So you have to have failed at a conventional weight loss program. So some of your insurance companies are probably going to make you do a 30-day diet or a 60-day diet. If they require this, you just got to kind of get through it. There's not really a way that we can bypass them. So that's kind of your proof to have failed at a conventional weight loss program. Even if you lose some weight, it doesn't typically discount you from having surgery. So just keep that in mind. You need to go to a qualified bariatric surgeon and a quality assurance program. We talked to you a little bit at the beginning about our accreditation through MBSA QIP. I know that's a crazy word, but it's a really important accreditation. We're really proud of it. Sharon talked to you about how hard it is to get, and it's a really great accreditation to have. You need to have a multidisciplinary team. We've introduced you to ours tonight. We have a really large team because we are, behind you for life. We're not just here to get you through surgery. We really want to see you successful 5, 10, 20 years down the line. So that's why we have such a large team. You're never going to get rid of us. We're going to be calling you and checking on you. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, those people at Celebration. You need to have lifelong care, monitoring, and follow-up. So that's why that's so important to you long term. So what are your different surgical options? Well, we have 4 main surgical options here in Celebration. You've probably heard about some of them, maybe not all. First, we're going to talk about the gastric band and the sleeve gastrectomy, the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, and the duodenal switch. All of our operations are performed laparoscopically, so I do have a little video for those of you that don't know what laparoscopic surgery is. So let's first start with the adjustable gastric band. Now the adjustable gastric band, this was really popular back in the 90s. You probably heard about it on TV or know somebody that had a gastric band. All kinds of celebrities and sports people have these bands. The band is really on its way out. We don't do hardly any bands. We've done 1 in the last 2 years, and that's because there's a lot of issues that happen with these bands. The weight loss is very variable. So some people got a band and they had great success. Other people got a band and had no success. They just couldn't find that exact location to where they would lose weight. So what this band is it's a man-made device here on the screen, and they put this piece around the top portion of the stomach. The inside of this ring here, it kind of inflates through a balloon. So they insert saline through this port, which is located right under the skin, and they make that balloon tighter and tighter onto your stomach so you can eat only very small meals. So when they inflated that balloon, some people, it would be too tight and they would just throw up all the time. Other people could eat whatever they wanted and lose no weight. So that's why this band is pretty much on its way out. There's not very many bands done in this country anymore. Also, the tubing could become disconnected from the port. The port could become infected. The band can flip over, it can erode through the stomach. So if you are here tonight just to hear about the band, I urge you to keep in mind an open mind because there are many better options than this gastric band. If you are sitting in the audience with a gastric band, the number 1 thing we do with them is take them out and convert people to other operations. So if you're interested in that, we do perform that type of surgery here in Celebration. The next surgery we're going to talk about is the sleeve gastrectomy. So this surgery really took over the popularity of the band. This is the most popular bariatric procedure performed currently in the United States. And that's for a few different reasons. The sleeve gastrectomy is really easy for our surgeons to do. It's usually done in about 45 minutes under anesthesia, so a very quick procedure. With this surgery, you can see here on the picture, this was the whole stomach before surgery. So the surgeon uses titanium staples and they make a long, narrow stomach pouch. Those titanium staples, they stay in place forever. You do not beep in a metal detector. You can have an MRI in the future if you ever need one, so there's not really a lot of problems with those titanium staples. The light pink piece of stomach here is actually wiggled out through one of the little incision sites. So they actually remove that piece of stomach from your body. So what you're left with is that long, narrow tube of a stomach. Your intestines stay completely in place. There's no changing of the intestines. So let's watch the little video here. It will kind of give you a better idea, and it also shows you laparoscopic surgery. There's no blood, there's no guts, it's all cartoons, so nobody faint, okay? I have to take you to the ER if you faint, so just, if you're very squeamish, you should be fine. Realize made these videos, so they get the credit here. So this is your belly. They make these little, about 1-inch incisions, and they put in these instruments called trocars. They hold those incision sites open, and the surgeons put the surgical instruments in right through those little ports on the top of those trocars. That's how they do the whole surgery. So this is your body before you have any kind of operation. They're going to show you when you eat a meal. It's illustrated in blue. So you eat food, comes down, it goes into your big stomach, you feel nice and full and satisfied. It goes into your small intestines, which is where you absorb your calories, your nutrition, your fats, your proteins, all those vitamins. So you're going to see here the staples. The surgeon will staple off and remove about 85% of the stomach. It's just kind of pulled through one of those little 1-inch incisions. It looks like a deflated balloon, so it's really pretty small when you see it, but there's no big cut to take that piece of stomach out. That's really it. Now when you eat a meal, you'll see the blue will come down, that's the food, fills up your little stomach pouch, goes into your small intestines where you still absorb all your calories, fats, nutrition, proteins, vitamins, all those things. So I'm going to read you the little disclaimer here at the end of this. It's on all of our videos, but it's really important. I'm just going to read it on the one and not all of them. So what it tells you here is that as with this procedure and all weight loss procedures, behavior modification and dietary compliance play a critical part in determining long-term success of the procedure. So what that basically means to you is that none of these surgeries are magic. You will probably see people or know people that have had surgery, they've gained their weight back, because these surgeries are not magic, even though they feel like magic in the very beginning. So the other day I talked on the phone to a patient with a sleeve, and she was so excited. She said, you know what? I learned how to use my sleeve. I couldn't fit in potato chips before, so now I eat one potato chip, I wait 5 minutes, I eat the second potato chip, I wait 5 minutes, I did this all day long, and at the end of the day, I ate the whole bag of potato chips. So she was so excited, she learned how to eat potato chips again, but at the end of the month, she gained 19 pounds. So, these surgeries are not magic. If you eat potato chips all day long, or hamburgers, you're gonna gain that weight back. So just kind of keep that in mind when you think about all of the different surgeries. Some of the key features of the sleeve gastrectomy, it does reduce the amount of food that's consumed at each meal. So we say that when you're fully healed, you're eating about a half a cup of food at breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. So you're still eating 3 meals a day, they're just very small meal sizes, about a half a cup of food. You're gonna have a lot of changes in your gut hormones. So there's a lot of hormones that cause you to feel hunger, cause you to absorb things different ways. So that's gonna really reduce hunger. Some of my patients with the sleeve gastrectomy, they tell me they don't feel hungry anymore. So they kind of forget to eat. They're like, oh, well, I didn't have breakfast, and then I had an apple for lunch, and then I skipped dinner. Your body is a machine. It needs fuel to keep working. So you have to eat your meals. Even though they're small meals, you gotta eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack every day. This is really great for significant and durable weight loss. So it's estimated about 60 to 80% of your excess weight. We'll use that really easy math again, 100 pounds. The average person will lose about 60 to 80 pounds if they're looking to lose 100 pounds. So pretty good weight loss with this surgery. It's a great option for high-risk patients. Because it's done so quickly, only about 45 minutes under anesthesia. If your doctor has told you, I don't know if you can undergo anesthesia that long, this might be your surgery option. A very short hospital stay. All of our surgeries are typically only 1 night in the hospital. So if you have surgery on Monday, you're usually home by Tuesday dinner time. So a really quick time and that you're in the hospital. Overall, you're gonna have improvement in health and well-being and reduced mortality risk. Advantages of the sleeve gastrectomy: there is no foreign object like a band that can flip or get infected or anything like that. There's also no bypassing of the intestines, so in case you're a little nervous about that. There's few possible long-term complications, so we don't see a lot of long-term complications